Hi, welcome to Gardening Hall, and in today's video I want to share with you some of the seed starting mediums that I use to sow my vegetable seeds. The Jiffy Pellets, the Jiffy seed starting mix, and also I want to show you how I mix my own seed starting medium. These are the Jiffy Pellets, and as you can see they are round and flat. They have a sheer mesh covering over the top, and you will peel these back slightly when they expand in the water. And you can also plant flowers as well as vegetables in these. This is another plant tray with pellets in it, and this one holds 36 plants. It has a clear lid that fits over the top. It also has a couple of bells and whistles like a plant vitamin pack for your seedlings and plant markers to label your seedlings with. And if you lift up one of the peat pellets, you'll see that there's a hole in the bottom for your seedling roots to soak up the water. And I like to water my seedlings from the bottom versus the top to help eliminate, that green mold that forms on the top of your soil. And when you water your seedlings from the bottom, this can help prevent that. Now, this peat pellet is similar to the other one that I showed you, but there's a couple of differences in the way that it's made. It does have a mesh that covers the top and the bottom, but let me show you the difference between the two. As you can see, this one is smaller than the other one, and if you place it on top, you'll see that there's a noticeable difference. The one at the bottom is much thicker than the one at the top, and this is good because it's ideal for planting seeds such as tomatoes. So the next step is to add some warm water, because you want to get these peat pellets to swell to a larger size. So you have to wait for them to sit in the water and absorb the water. And I would say that they can swell in less than 5 minutes. But you'll know they're ready when the top of the soil turns a dark brown color, and then they'll swell to about 1 to 1.5 times its original size. And when you see this, you'll know that your peat pellet is ready. And as you can see, this one has swelled up and it's almost ready. So I've poured off any excess water, and I want to show you just in comparison how this peat pellet looks to the way it looks now. As you can see, it really swelled from what it was before, from being a flat disc to a much larger in size. And it really amazes me just how quickly these things can swell. So next I'm just going to gently pull back the mesh covering from the peat pellet and kind of fluff up the soil a little bit. Now these are 12 peat pellets that I had started at the beginning of this project, but then while I was outside a thunderstorm came and I got rained out. So I'm going to pick up where I left off planting my lavender seeds. Now I've never had much success in growing lavender, but I think I'll give it another try. Lavender seeds are called true lavender, and they are really small, as you can see. So what I'll do is I'll just sprinkle some inside the peat pellet, and if I think I always oversow, but I can always thin them out as they go. So I just continue to put the seeds into the peat pellets, and I'm going to speed this up a little bit. There you go. So I'm at the end now of planting the lavender. Now I want to show you how I just gently cover the lavender seeds with the soil. And usually I find that the smaller the seeds, the less soil you need to put over the top of it. And then once you get all your seeds planted and you cover them up with the soil, I like to go back in and just pinch close the mesh covering. So you want to just close it up until you get them all done. And then the last step is to put your dome covering over the lavender seeds. So let me get my cover. Not a dome cover, but a plastic cover, and I'll just put that over my lavender seeds here, and it turns it into something like a mini greenhouse. Normally when I see the seedlings emerge, what I would do is I will crack the dome, and then when all the seedlings emerge, I would just take the clear top off completely, and then I'll harden the plants off, the seedlings off, by taking them outside, putting them in the shade, bringing them back in the house, and then keep repeating this process until the seedlings can tolerate the sunlight outside. Okay, so this is the Jiffy Seed Starting Mix. So the thing I like about the Jiffy Seed Starting Mix is all you have to do is just mix it with water. Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, if you're going to keep it inside, I would add some hot water to it. And you can see that this is a nice brown color. And I'm just going to mix it really good. I'm just adding plain water to it because I'm going to keep it outside. Hot water if I'm going to take it inside to kill the gnat eggs. So let me just add a little bit more soil to this. I don't need a lot of soil, but I just want it to be a little bit higher up in the container. And I'm going to add some more water as well, just so I can get it to the consistency that I need and just mix it up really well. So I think this is good. I think this is just the consistency that I was hoping for. Now I'm going to plant some Boston pickling cucumber seeds, and these are 50 to 65 day seed from germination to harvest. And our first frost date is in November, so I should be good. So I just press it down in the soil a little bit, cover it up. I'm going to give it a little bit of water, and I'm going to leave these outside. I'm not going to bring them inside. And that way, as they germinate and grow, I don't have to worry about hardening them off, bringing them in and out of the house, because they'll already be hardened off. So that's one of the benefits of growing them outside. And I'm good to go. So these are my cucumbers 6 days later. They're doing good. Now the final thing I want to show you is the vermiculite here that I mixed with my peat moss, and this is how I make my homemade seed starting mix. This bag of vermiculite, it was about $6. Then I have the peat moss, and I think I paid about $11 for this bag, and it is very fine and loose. So you know, when you sow it, you want to be sure that you mix it with your vermiculite and then add some water before you start planting your seedlings, because it is really so lightweight. When I mix my seed starting mixture, I use a 6-to-1 ratio. I use 6 cups of peat moss to 1 cup of vermiculite, and I try to use the same container when I'm measuring it out. I use the same container to measure the vermiculite out as well as the peat moss. Now this seed starting mixture has no nutritional value for the plant, so when I get the first true leaves appear on my seedlings, that's when I'll give them some water soluble fertilizer. So I'm going to speed up the video, mix up my seed starting mixture, fill up my seed trays, and I'm going to plant my seeds.